Praise the Lord, everybody. This is Elder Adrian Heyman. And this time, it's been impressed upon my mind to actually give a word of thanks. And these are essentially not necessarily for those who are part of my family. I know that they love and they care, and I'm really thankful. I'll give my kudos to them at another time. But this is really due to those that helped my education. And there are three people that come to mind that really stay on my mind because they really helped me to become the person I am. I thank God definitely for putting these people in that position. Because sometimes, essentially, it's not always those that are in the church, although they do help, and quite a bit actually. But sometimes it's also those that the Lord puts in your way, even if they don't belong to your church. But their care, their love, their heartfelt giving of whatever they have for you, essentially, it alters a life. And there are three people I want to acknowledge today. I may have done it in writing before, but really just say it so that if nothing else, people know that these are the people that really affected my life on an educational basis. The first one I want to mention is a teacher I had in middle school. And most of these are those in middle school. This was an English teacher I had. And I remember having trouble with my speech. If any of you have known me for any length of time, you would know that I have had a problem with stuttering. Much less now than what I did before, but before I couldn't speak very much. And also, I had a pretty low self-esteem because I was also the youngest person in my class by quite a bit. I had skipped a grade earlier in my life, and again, that may also be something that if you plan on skipping your child a grade, it's a good thing to say, but there are certain things that happen that they have to understand, that essentially they will be treated as a younger kid by their peers. So, and that's not always necessarily the best thing, but I'm actually diverging. But it was this teacher who she strongly encouraged me and she knew I had problems speaking, but she encouraged me to write. And I know that God put her in that position to do so, because that was where I gained a love of writing, was really due to her efforts. I was able to express myself in ways that I couldn't do it talking. What's interesting, because you would think right now I talk a lot, but this particular person really has helped me to find another venue to express myself in creative writing. And that person is Ms. Joanne Bernard. Always call her Miss Bernard because that's her teacher. Known as my teacher, I'll always call her that. We have actually, I've tried to stay in touch with her over the years because she's always seemed so proud of my accomplishments. And I can't say that I've done all that much, but I thank her for her continued support. Even now, we occasionally talk, and she sees things I do on Facebook. But I wanted to thank her for all that she has done in encouraging me, not just in writing, but also did various things in life. Sometimes if you find a good teacher who is able to really help to transform your life, think of it as God's blessing. And don't underestimate what they have done for you, because they've done a lot. And I wanted to give that thankfulness to her. Someone always said to give flowers to someone while they're alive. This is my idea of doing that, giving flowers while she's alive. And maybe one day I may go to visit her, if I can, just to say thank you. Thank you so much for all the things she's done for me. It's just been something that essentially during this time I've begun to really think about all the people who have paved the way for me. And I encourage you all to help pave the way for somebody else. Help pave the way that make their job make their job a little easier. Pay it forward. You've got help from somebody, help someone else to do that as well with you. Again, she really helped me to put my thoughts in writing, and that's enabled me to eventually inspire me to actually start writing books. I haven't finished writing books, even though this has been a tough situation for me, so I have to get started again. And I've actually, and as my pastor said, I'm actually writing quite a bit. But I've had to stop for a little bit because of certain health circumstances with my wife. But I do plan on starting again very soon. I'm working simultaneously on quite a few books, so you may see hopefully some coming out this year. But anyway, thank you, Ms. Bernard, for what you've done for me and all of your help. Now, Ms. Bernard had a good friend who also taught in middle school, who really affected me quite a bit. And you would not think it, but he was probably the most active civil rights advocate I could ever see. And he wasn't black. He wasn't black. He wasn't black. No. He was he was more pinkish with red hair. Those that know him love him because he genuinely cared for his students, no matter what color they were. And he encouraged us to open our eyes. He taught history, and he encouraged us to open our eyes, to look at the world around us, not to be oblivious to things, but to look, not to accuse, but to look objectively at things and to judge them for what they are. He wasn't one that would try to sugarcoat things. He understood what took place in the hood, so to speak. But he was someone that who essentially if you talk with him, he was one that really cared about his students. I remember he took his own pickup truck when no one else would and took us to various places, including all the way out to Calico Ghost Town, out there in the desert near past Victorville, past Barstow. But he did it because he wanted to give us a cultural experience we would normally not have. Us being black kids in the hood, we didn't have a lot of money to do anything else, and he did that for us. Of course, for you that know, I'm talking about Mr. Keith Funk. We teased his name, of course, Funk. But he was an absolutely outstanding teacher, and he cared. He cared so much for his students. And I know how much he cared because I came to him when I was about to go to UCLA, And after I applied, I didn't know, I was getting scared because I didn't know how to apply, how to fill out the application to get scholarships. And he did that. He did that. He helped me with my application to get into UCLA. Now, this is a middle school teacher helping someone going from high school to college. And every so often, and you know, one thing, we talk about white flight, but he actually stayed in the hood. He stayed in Inglewood. I mean, the neighborhood around him changed, but he stayed in his house in Inglewood. And when I got married, and I was in Inglewood for a little bit, there were a few times I was able to come and actually walk over to his house. Walked over to his house. We would discuss all kinds of things. And again, it would be about current events, about social information. He was really someone that really understood what the people of color were going through. He wasn't a bleeding heart liberal, but he was a pragmatist. He knew what was taking place, and he earned our respect. So, unfortunately, he's not with us right now. He did pass away some time ago. But the impact he had a little ceremony, I believe, at Hermosa Beach, or they put a ceremony for him, his family. And all the students who came back to pay their respects to him really showed me just how much of an influence he was. And the vast majority of those students were black. But he didn't care about his color. He just cared about you as a human being. And I always wanted to live up to that. Again, God put him in my way. That if he didn't help me, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. And I thank the Lord Jesus for putting this person there just so that I would have someone to talk to, that have someone that would be able to help me in time. That's what he did. And there's certain times I can almost come to tears because he had a lot of influence in my life, along with Miss Bernara, Mr. Funk. If you know him, if you knew of him, give me a shout. You can text it, whatever, but he was all that and more. The last person I'm going to talk about, when I got the application into UCLA, this woman took over from there. And she was the Jackie Robinson Memorial Scholarship coordinator at UCLA. For some reason, I won that scholarship. It was probably one of the happiest times of my life in terms of achievements. It was something because I was able to get my way paid through UCLA with the little bit that UCLA charged during that time. I couldn't afford it. You may think $757 a year, couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it. My family couldn't afford it. But I got a scholarship that paid my way and paid for a trip to the Jackie Robinson Foundation headquarters in Connecticut, which means we stayed in New York. All expenses paid at the Waldorf, no less. And we would go to the dinner that they would have, a award celebration. And who would be the person that would be the MC? Bill Cosby. Now that's when Bill Cosby was held in high regard, of course. But this woman was one that she was a Spitfire, but she was very caring, and very loving of all the students who went through that particular program, because it was awarded every year, and was awarded not just to UCLA, but several colleges around the nation. That's why we would all go to New York every year for about a week. But this particular woman was just, again, God put her in this position to help me through times when I didn't feel like I belonged. I was very introverted. UCLA being a bigger school, felt out of sorts sometimes. Sometimes I felt lonely. Sometimes I just felt that I couldn't do it. But she kept giving me encouragement. You can do it, Adrian. You can do it. I know, because I'm your other mom. And if she's listening, that's who she calls me. I mean, that's who she refers to. She knows I have my mom. She knows I love my mom, my actual mom, my maternal mom. And she also knows that I love the mom that I have from marriage. So I have two moms. Mom that birthed me, and mom that I was hooked up with because of her daughter for a little over 38 years. But she called me, she referred to herself as her other mom, her UCLA mom. And of course, for her, I referred to Miss Dorothy Thomas. She always had a smile. Nothing could faze her. Even if I told her there was issues, it's okay. I can get over it. I can do it. And she was right. I could. And I needed that. Again, God puts people in place in the times in which you need it, so that your progress can keep going forward. And she did that. And she instilled in me a semblance of, or a idea of excellence. So even when I finished at UCLA, when I decided, my wife and I decided that I'm going for an advanced degree, I said, you know what, I'm going to really blaze through this. Make sure that I get as high a grade as possible, not because I'm trying to outdo anyone, because I wanted to prove to myself. So I ended up getting, I think I got a 3.99. How can you get a 3.99? Because I usually had A pluses, except for one grade I had an A minus. I said, oh, no. But it's okay. But she was encouraging with that as well. Got got my master's. She was thrilled when I told her that I got my doctorate in theology. But as well as anyone else, she really kept me going, and she has kept in touch with me. And even though I couldn't really call, but she would email me, text me, comment on Facebook. Thank you, Mom, the other mom, the UCLA mom. Thank you for having that belief in me. Thank you for that you gave me that much love. As well as, of course, Ms. Joanne Bernard and Mr. Keith Funk. I thank all of you, all three of you, for your help in making me, at least your help as part of the ingredients is what I've been made as a person. Hopefully, I will continue to live to what you've taught me to do. I also hope that I leave as much of a legacy on somebody as you guys have left to me. Again, thank you, love you, and I hope that by saying this, I encourage all of you to be a mentor to somebody, to help somebody, to pay it forward so that, not just that your name will be known, but that your legacy will live on as long as that person that you tutor that you mentor remains alive, and maybe they'll pass it on to their children. So take care. God bless you. Love you all. Stay strong, and keep moving forward. God bless you all. Take care.